What's up guys, welcome back. So today I want to try something really fun and something you guys have been asking me for. I'm going to go over my favorite plugins. Now what I want to do, instead of just like talking about them, I'm going to show you how I use them in my different sessions. I think that will be a little bit more helpful. A lot of these plugins have been my faves for like 5, 6, 7 years. Like I'm a ride or die for some of these. So I'm really excited to kind of show you how I use them, why I use them, and all of that good stuff. Yeah, so without further ado, let's just hop straight into it. All right, so the first plugin I'm gonna talk about is one of my like recent finds, like within the last year and a half or something. It is a plugin called Sublab, and it is for creating 808s. Now, as you guys that know my work, almost every track I produce has like a big fat 808 in it because I do work on a lot of like R&B-ish, trap-ish music. So the low end is very, very important. Use this plugin on just about every track right now. There's many, many other ways to create an 808, but I really like the flexibility of this plugin. So just to like play you a little bit of it in this track specifically. All right, so yeah, this is the 808 in here. So this is one of the, it comes with a lot of presets. This is one of the presets I really, really love. 808 NASCAR. Perfect combination of hard without crossing that line into like super hip hop. I always play with attack a lot of the times, because a lot of the times I kind of want that softer attack because I have a kick at the same time, like maybe possibly doing the same pattern, rhythmic pattern as the 808. So it can be one of those situations where it's nice to duck out the attack and just like do that. You can do that with sidechain too, and I do it with sidechain on almost every track, but this can be really nice, you know. And then with this, with pitch, it's really, really fun. Like you can create these 808s that are like, let me see, let me mess around with this for a second. See, like yeah, there's just like a lot of fun flexibility you can have on these. This is something I really play with a lot, the distortion on the 808. I do think they do a really, really nice job of it. It's obviously not the entire sound distorted, right? If I were to put on like Fat Filter Saturn or something on this track, you know what would happen? It would start affecting the whole sound, even those sub lows like 60K, 80K. I mean, not K, hertz. You know what I'm trying to say? And it would make the sound small. So, but what this distortion does, it's just obviously only affecting kind of like the top end, like, and you can set that to like the high cut at 20 kilohertz, which is so high, like you don't even need that. Yeah, and then low cut could be like, you know, you can decide where you're affecting it, which is really, really nice. And the drives are all so different. Like I love this dark drive. It's very subtle. And then like the gain and the fatness, like you can make like this very gnarly bass with this, which is really, really cool. It's very, very simple. See, just play with this. And then there's other modes like overdrive. Just really, really nice. I love that. I love having that. Usually I do that by bussing out to like I even have like an 808 top here with like, yeah, it's like Camel Crusher, Fat Filter Saturn. Like I pick whichever one I want. Like this is like my little default. But honestly, I haven't used that in so long because don't need it with this. Yeah, and then there's grunge too, just like a very harsh. And you can just have a touch of it though. You control the fizz. Even that compared to just this full just sub, and then that, it's awesome. A little bit tube. Yeah, so this is like the holy grail for me, is the distortion. I really, really like it. Yeah, and you can have like the filtering and everything. I've never even touched this, to be honest. Like I always like do this later with the EQ that I like, but this is an awesome plugin. I'm pretty sure it costs like $40 or something. So super, super recommended. All right, guys, my next plugin that I'm so excited to share with you is Valhalla Vintage Verb. Now, any of you guys that watch this channel know I have like a fetish for this plugin. I literally love this verb so much. I've used it on hundreds of songs at this point, hundreds and hundreds of songs, and in many different ways. And I really want to show you guys, I want to go into a few different sessions and like show you how I've used this plugin. In the session that I just have open, and in most sessions, I use it just as like on channel verb for my ad libs. When I kind of don't want to bust out and I just want them to be wet, and that's what I want, and I don't care about preserving like the clean dry signal, like I just throw them on the channel and I get stuff like this. So the reason I like this is I can be very flexible with like what is going on with this. So if you watch this decay, like I can just kind of write in my own thing, and depending on like what I'm looking to do with this, I can create all kinds of effects. Like let's say if I wanted to start with like very low decay and go into very high decay, I would get something like this. Right? And then if, oh wait, I was doing the mix, not the decay. Perfect. All right, so let's say like if I wanted to start with like pretty much no reverb and bring in like the big verb, right? I could do something like this. I could start with lower decay and just go up and go high, go as high as you want. And then I would have this whole wall, you know, depending on what you want. There's so much you can do. So this color setting is really, really important. Depending on what you choose, it picks like the tone of it. See, this one is a lot darker. Actually, not want this much decay. Sorry. Just this was me messing around. But yeah, I usually wouldn't do that much. But yeah, like if we just start somewhere right here. Yeah, you can see how much darker the vintage mode is, and this now mode is very bright. Because our EQ is like been the same. It's like no low cut and this like high cut of 8,000 hertz. You can really hear just how different these modes are, and these modes are really different too. This concert hall is the first one, and a lot of the times that's the one I keep. I like it. I really like dirty plate as well. And see, it's gonna sound different in every mode, color mode. Yeah, I love the 70s. That's the one I like really, really ride or die for. But there's some others, like the non-lin is really freaking cool. I do work on a lot of songs that are like 80s inspired, because that's just like really hot right now. And I haven't actually for 3-4 years. There's a lot of people that have come to me. They've been like, I want to make like a 80s inspired song. So they want those synths, they want those sounds. And one of the 80s, you know, reverb modes, of course, is non-lin. So you get stuff like this. This is actually kind of a crazy, let me, this was a crazy. Let me take off this processing and I will do more like kind of steady. Yeah, this is like a long decay. A lot of the times people will have like a short decay and it's like a slapback. It's really fun. Fun. But let me show you some other usages for this, which there's a lot. So a lot of the times I use it to create vocal effects, to color things a certain way. I mean, obviously in combination with other plugins, but I want to play you guys this processed vocal in this song. It sounds like this. It's one of those, like, it's kind of in the background, floating, like, soulful little vocal. But now I'm going to play you guys what it sounds like without any of this stuff. Sorry, it was looking so harsh, even in my ear. I was like, ooh. So, but yeah, usually when I try to build, like, a beautiful floaty vocal out of something like this, the first thing I put on is the Valhalla vintage verb. Yeah, and you can see this is very heavy. The mix is set to like 90%. Pretty long, like 4-second delay. Lows are kind of cut. There's not a lot of lows on that vocal either. Just, you heard it. It's like a mouse. So, but it does this. Like that already smoothes it out quite a bit. And then I just basically low pass a bit. yeah, and then I just like limit, and then I think I added even a little bit of like vinyl at 130, which is probably gonna be the next plugin I discuss. Yeah, Valhalla Vintage Verb is just so versatile. Yeah, a lot of the times I end up throwing it on instrumental tracks as well. Like I have this little bell here, which it's got delay on it. You can hear it, maybe even its own native verb a little bit. I don't know what it is. It's Omnisphere. Let's see if it does have, yeah, it has a little bit of its own spring verb. I'm not afraid to layer verbs. I'm not trying to be all correct and play shit by the rules. I don't care. So I put on Valhalla Vintage Verb on top of its own processing, because I just like the sound of it. Like that's what I do a lot of the times. Obviously I don't worry about saving CPU as much as somebody maybe on a laptop is, but most of the time I don't like kind of like the effects that are built into plugins like Omnisphere or Serum or whatever. I want to use my own verb, my own EQ, my own this. So I usually end up using this one for everything. And I wanted this plug, this little bell thing, to be a lot like brighter, so that's why I used the 1980s color on it. And a lot of the times I also use it for effects. Like look at this guitar. This guitar has it automated only to come in at the end of this last chord. Like check it out. So I wanted specifically that feeling of like, oh, we're small, we're like, you know, chilling, we're expanded back in. So yeah, I mean, if you go through my tracks, like Valhalla is literally got almost every freaking track. It's right there. Not here, which is amazing. Not on the 808. Please don't put reverb on your low end, but I'm joking. But really, yeah, I use this plugin on literally everything. Like, really worth the money. All right, guys, the next plugin I'm going to show you is RC20 Retro Color. I really love this plugin. I've been using it for a couple of years now. So, and it's so versatile because it comes with so many just like interesting features built in. And again, this is not a very expensive plugin either. So it is super worth it because you're getting so many functionalities in this one thing. So I'm just gonna play something that is using it and kind of explain how this is working. All right, so what I'm specifically using on this is the wobble. Now, it's very nice because you can go from wow to flutter. You can drag the slider like this. You can hear it. That's not what I wanted for this. I just wanted a little bit of like the slower wow. And then I really love that you can hit this nice little stereo button and it just like immediately widens the sound. Listen. It's so nice to me. I'm just like, oh, like immediately it's spread it a little bit. It's given it that dimension, which we love, especially for something like this, which obviously is going to support a vocal that's right in the middle. The next thing, I mean, there's noise, which I'm not using on this, but it's just really nice, like this vinyl kind of noise, which is super dope because you can literally take this and like record this. Oh, it's so loud. You can record this and just like loop it on a track, or you can have it on here. I like to control when my noise is what it's doing, so I probably don't use this as much, but I still think it's really cool. On here, I'm using this digital bit crusher. I just wanted a little bit of like harshness on this very smooth synth and kind of also just make it sound a little bit like older, crappier, which I love. Like I love making things sound crappier than they are, because like if everything is pristine, everything sounds too pretty, too clean, like it doesn't have like vibe to it. But especially my vocals, like I like those shits to be so pristine in every way. So I really like making things in the track dirtier, like this is doing. See, that's what it's, and it's bit crushing it. And see that you can adjust like the smoothness of it. Whoa, so dope. And of course mix. You know, this is without, this is with. You know, and then change the sound of it by where it's at. Like I wanted to be a little bit more of this kind of situation on it. Yeah, you can play with basically how it's crushing it, how smoothly it's doing it, like how much of it it's doing. Yeah, I think it's a nice little bit crusher. I really like it. And so then we have this, which honestly, I really freaking love this space button. You can kind of check out what it's doing. Let me play with it. Turn off the bed crusher just for now. Yeah, basically it's a verb, and I really like this specific sound of it. It's not very versatile. It's not like Valhalla vintage verb where there's like so many colors and settings and everything. You know, it's just very like, this is what you get, this is what it is. But I really love the sound of it, especially with the stereo button. See how like big and wide it is? I've used this on vocals. I've used this on a lot of instruments, like specifically things I'm trying to get to be like kind of in the background and big. I really, really like this. So, and then magnetic is like a little bit more of like wear and flutter, like a different kind of processing for that. And, you know, and then there's like width and gain and tone. And like, I honestly haven't even like really explored anything down here. I mostly like when I open this up, I go straight for like the wobble usually, or for the space. Those are my two babies that I use a lot. But I think this plugin is great because like every module is really valuable in its own way, and it has presets as well. I haven't really used those very much though, which is interesting. I'm usually like a preset girl, but for this I always just like pick what I want because I just like the modules and they're very easy to use. And a lot of the times I'll just hear a vocal or something and be like, oh, I want space on it. So I pull it in and, you know, just turn everything off and just use that. All right, guys, the next plugin I'm going to talk about is Isotope Vinyl, which is one of my favorite plugins ever and has been one of my favorite plugins since like 2011 or whenever I got it. And it's actually a free plugin and it's really amazing for aging down pretty much anything. I use it a lot on vocals, and I use it specifically a lot on this kind of thing, like this kind of hype situation. Like if you listen to this. Hype. Oh, literally, this is hype. Wow, I love that so much. But this is super, super easy to use. There's a few like dust, scratch, warp, depth, like these kind of more advanced settings, but honestly, most of the time, I do this. If it's at year 2000, it sounds like pretty much normal. It's just like a little less bright. But if you turn it down a little bit here, it's age. It's just that telephone effect, but to me, this is like a perfect telephone effect because a lot of them have a lot of like low end, kind of like lower mids. They're kind of woofy. Then after you EQ it, which is a pain. I really like this, that it just really is like perfect. You put it on, you're done. You don't have to do anything. So I really, really enjoyed for this, but there are many, many other uses for it as well. A lot of the times, yeah, I just want to have a little vocal moment that's different than my normal processing on the lead, so I'll crank that up. So yeah, even just turning up the wear a little bit, like it makes it a bit duller, a bit older, and of course like playing with this the here. You know, and you could do these things like dust. Whoa. Actually don't hear anything on that. Ah, there you go. Yeah, I don't use this a lot. Like I feel like it's a little random. Any noise that I put in is like very deliberate, like rhythmically deliberate as well. This sounds like a little scratchiness, like warped depth as well. This could be cool for like tonal parts. I feel like this plugin is so helpful and it's free. Get it. Please get it. Okay, and the last plugin I'm going to show you guys in this video is called Pancake. It is by Cable, guys. It is also, I believe, a free plugin. At least it was when I downloaded it. It is basically a very simple panning plugin that I think like has really, really nice sort of built-in features that are super easy to use. Like I can demonstrate it on this vocal right here. So basically it's panning left and right. Very, very simple. I can set like the amount that it's doing that. Not doing it, doing it. right? I also can set the rate it's doing it at. So if I wanted to be like, I can do like 16th notes. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but it's pretty fast. Or if I wanted like a very slow, like, yeah, it's a little slow for this vocal. It doesn't even take 2 bars. But let's say if I did like a bar and a half. Then we have like a very slow progression from one ear to the next. And of course it mixes at 100, but if I just wanted like a touch of that, you know what I mean? It's very subtle, but it's nice. And then you can set shapes as well. Like I obviously like the very kind of smooth shape, but you can also do like harsher. So it has like that like you can hear it jumping as opposed to smoothly transitioning. Yeah, you know, and you can like really create your own curves as well. I've literally never done this. For me, it's like I just want to hear probably like 1/8 notes or, you know, half notes or 2 bars or something like of just a smooth transition, usually at like 50% for most parts that I want to use this for. But there's like really crazy capabilities too for anybody that wants to get like very adventurous with this. And yeah, I don't just use this on vocals. I use this a lot of the times on instrumental parts, like something like this. I have this little bell here. Oh yeah. Now you can hear it panning. I actually printed down, but it did have Pancake on it. It's just printed down, and you can see it in the waveform, like how it was panning it. So super useful little plugin. Get it, it's free. All right guys, and this is my favorite plugins, some of my favorite plugins to use. If you like this video, let me know, because I can make a part 2, because like these are not my only favorite plugins, if you know what I'm saying. I have so many, and if you watch my videos, you kind of see me like rock on them. But yeah, if you'd like to see another one of those, let me know. If you have any questions, let me know. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye.